Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water. Bye. Next time. I'm going to get straight into my topic. And, when you look at the FBI statistics on crime, it has black people as rated as committing a lot of crime. But I've been sort of looking at this sort of thing off lately, looking at the stats. And first of all, the FBI rates arrests, not convictions, or even the person may not have even been charged. Many times, there wasn't even charges brought. They just list the arrest in the crime stats. And black men are usually most exonerated and not arrested. White men have a high rate because they're not going to bother white men unless it's necessary. How many times you hear black people see a white person doing something? Oh, if he was black, he'd be on his way to jail. But, when you don't control the society, you can't see how things go. He who controls society, and he who makes the rules, say how things go, but one thing we don't like is don't try to demonize us. No, try to move this thing here. Don't try to demonize us. So we're less than. And you've been cheating all the time. You know what else I found out? It has to do with my title. About the people of color. That's why I always tell people, we are not people of color. We have to have ourselves separated from them. Because they are including many of the people of color into the black crime stats. We are totally different people from them. But now people of color are being included in the black crime stats. I mean, they think of every diabolical way they can to make us look bad, like as though we're less than. Think of people who have no kindred to us, who have show us more personal hate than the white man does. Now, they say personal hate, and you know, but they talk like as though because anyone who's not white is our ally. No, but you know what? People of color has been white people allies against us. That's what has been happening. You see, what happened is, as long as they could be weaponized against us, they were fine with the people of color here. They were fine with the people of color. Matter of fact, remember John Zimmerman, George Zimmerman, the one who killed Trayvon Martin? He was Hispanic. Is it because of where his mother and father came from? He was Latin and Hispanic. Chauvin wasn't a white sounding name. If you look at many of the policemen who have killed black men or black people, look at their surnames. Many of them are Latino surnames, not just white men. So that's why we cannot be grouped in with them. We are black Americans. That's what we need to be called. Black Americans. Because see, these other people, they have shown them a hatred towards us, and they're not our kindred. We don't need them, but they're crying out for us. For what? We're supposed to care what happens to them. They didn't care what was happening to us. Yeah, we can see one way that they've been able to harm us, even in the little bit we got of affirmative action, got smaller when they started including minorities. That's the worst thing they could do is start calling black people minorities. So they grouped us in with everyone else, including white women who are the largest single demographics in the nation, including them in affirmative action. Every dirty way and every dirty trick that they can think of. Do nothing fair. But yeah, we're around here trying to be fair. And we need to cut that out. We need to start treating people worse than they treat us. I didn't say just as bad. Because we got some making up to do. And we got some making up to do. We've been treating us bad too long. We've been responding all nice and kind. Time out for that. And you people of color, wherever you go, that's your problem. Then maybe you'll keep taking off our crime stats. I was really surprised when I saw that and looked it up that many times people of color are included in the black crime statistics. They do that to pad it. And what they're not looking at, as I said a little while ago, the FBI stats on crime is not going by charges, they go by arrest. Yeah, many times they arrest people and let them go, but that went down there in the black crime stats. They set up roadblocks. Just like when they tell you about how all the black criminals out there. You look at their records, it's just a bunch of misdemeanors, maybe traffic charges. Don't you think if as many black people was out here committing crime and killing each other, as they say, wouldn't be too many of us left? The FBI reports also states that black people, it says 90% of crime among black people is committed by less than 2% of the same repeat offenders between the ages of 14 and 22. When they get older, they learn some sense. They went to prison and got killed, but one of three, they come out of it. If you look at crime among working class black people, it's almost non-existent. So don't you see a parallel there? It shows you that crime among black people has a lot to do with their economic status. The more people a black person go up economically, the less crimes they commit. You got little black towns, man, out surrounding large cities, virtually crime free. You have areas in these cities, these crime ridden cities. It's not all over town, it's in pockets. St. Louis, Missouri, you got some places in that city supposed to be the crime capital, but the majority of that city is crime free. They do that stuff in pockets, certain areas. It's not all over town. So, but they do everything they can to try to throw shade on us. I tell you, black people commit crime. Okay, I showed you the ages where black people commit crime, and when we stop and our higher economic level, when we get a higher economic level, crime become almost non-existent between us. I'm talking about serious crime. But let's look at white people. How old was those people in January 6th? Or those Proud Boys and Nazis and all? A lot of them are middle-aged men and senior men. You wouldn't see black men that age out there doing some foolishness like that. Those people went to the Capitol, oh, grandmas and grandpas. You wouldn't see black people, their equivalent. They were policemen, firemen, state senators and reps, all type of professional people. You wouldn't see any black professional people out there doing something like that. As I told you before, one woman flew in on her private jet to join in that mess. What black woman you know who can afford a private jet to get out there and do something like that? She wouldn't. She had more important things to do. You had to look at the ages of the white people gangs. Old gray men with long gray hair and long gray beards. Black people been cut that mess out by the time they get that age. My granddad, just listen to the children say, my granddad in a gang. No, that sound right, do it? Your granddad in a gang. My dad in a gang. He gonna get me in. That don't even sound right. Yeah, but see, that's why I say many people criticize me because I'm not really thinking about nobody but black people. See, we sitting this one out with a thought because everybody else got their rights because of things that we did in the past. From this, I mean, this man is so diabolical, the white man. He even mistreats his own woman. And let me tell you, don't go out to them protests. They beating, dragging white women in the street, beating them. White men dragging them, beating them. If you know they'll do that to them, what do you think black people got coming? Because they're going to come straight for you. Reason I know, when they first started doing those protests in Philadelphia, and they were telling black people not to go, but these 8 black women went. It was hard-headed, went anyway. Just 8. Everybody else a different race, white, Latino, whatever. Who do you think got arrested? Because 8 people got arrested. That's why they're saying today, we'll be a target. Excuse me. If we go out there, we'll be a target. So be careful. I mean, you must go. That's on you. You know, I can't tell people what to do. If that's your conviction to go and join in these other people's battle, go ahead, because I'm going to tell you why. Just like they treated George Zimmerman like he was white when it's against us, those Latinos not who they really want. They want us. It's just think nothing they can do about it. If we're just as much citizens as white folks are. We were here at the founding of this nation. When our ancestors first came here, this wasn't even a nation. So how could they be immigrants? If that's the case, white folks are immigrants too. We got just as much claim on this nation as they do. Some of them are beginning to realize that. But I really don't care what they realize. I want us to realize it. I've gotten to this place now. I really don't care what these other people think anymore. We got to reach our people. I'm not trying to prove anything to them. We haven't done it in 400 years. They're still putting out the same stereotypes, same names. 400 years. When the white farmers and the black farmers still doing well, and the white farmers losing everything, some of them start talking about maybe we ought to burn down the black farms. See, they haven't learned. Burn down black economic progress. Don't that sound like Tulsa and Rosewood to you? They haven't learned. Still trying to pull the same thing, just in a different way. And this thing with Obama being elected had drove them crazy. They saw it as black progress. And I know you heard it many times before. Anytime there's black progress, there's white backlash. They get angry. There's black progress right after slavery. See, 40 Black Wall Street was just 40 years after slavery. They had other economic centers that was burned down before then. You know that black people had almost taken over the state of North Carolina? About 10 years after slavery, had elected officials and all. But see, they don't tell you that part. And the white people got jealous, and that's why they instituted Jim Crow. Jim Crow was another form of slavery. And it didn't end until the mid 20th century. So black people have only been free maybe 50 years. Well, at least what we call freedom. Maybe 50 years. And then after that, they introduced feminism to these black women. They're running things down. We haven't had one W under them. Jesse Jackson, Roy Ennis, Andrew Young, Julian Bond, people like them moving through organizations like CORE, the NAACP, Rainbow Coalition, and many others, built this black voting machine. And the women are dismantling. You're trying to run that sister girl politics. That don't work. Stacey Abrams haven't learned her lesson. See, she got a ticket to the event where only women come. The men have to take back over our society because the women are running it into the ground. 80% of the babies being birthed by maybe between 16 to 20% of the men. You cannot grow a community like that. Because you leave it to women, all of them gravitate towards the same few men. If you leave it up to them, that's why they used to pick women's husbands for them. Because they know if she picked them, she's gonna go after who's cute and fine to her. But getting back on the subject. But I did say that to say that they found a way to ruin our progress that we were making. And feminism did it. And it did. It really harmed us bad. But it was the white man who was mistreating his woman, not us. Do you know that white women used to be white women couldn't work? And there was a time when a white woman did work, she couldn't get her paycheck. It had to go to her husband. Do you know that? White men has the most domestic violence. But you listen to black people, women talk, you think it was a black man beating them up all over the place. How many times you work with a white woman and she come to work with her eye black, jaw blue? I've seen it many times, but the black woman wasn't coming to work like that. Yeah, and then he wouldn't give her the right to vote. White women had to go out and picket for the right to vote. But then what happened was they used black women, had black women get out there with them, and after they got the right to vote, they kicked the black women under the bus. So, he said, be careful who you deal with. White women that back in the 1920s, around that time, gonna get with black women and try to help you get some rights, and you believe that. They ain't gonna help you get any kind of right because they hated you. But look, we We gotta be vigilant and watch out because see everybody trying to be our friend now, but where was they at when we needed them? Oh, they march talking about police brutality and all, but that can affect them. But we needed them during the civil rights struggle when we was fighting for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's when we really needed them. When the dogs was being sicked on, water cannons shot on. That's when we needed them. To them, getting out there marching is a hobby. Black folks been stopped protesting after Michael Brown, really. You don't see that many black people protest. Told you, I live streamed some of the rallies. There wasn't no black people out there, except for the ones on the stage. Out of 600 some people, they announced the crowd size. We planned up new strategies. Those 1960s peaceful protest march, that don't work anymore. You see, have any of that phased to Trump? You see, the rest of these people are 60 years behind us. They're still trying the Martin Luther King tactic. Fine for back then, but this is the 21st century now. Black people boycotting, brought Target to its knees. But look, I heard someone say, well, why just Target? Why don't they boycott some more? Well, Reverend Al Sharpton, Reverend Jamal Bryant, and some people, they started the Target broadcast. Someone else can boycott other things. You can't expect one group to do it all. Others can boycott something else. So one thing we always have this problem is something Malcolm X said, the Messiah syndrome. We always want and expect one person. If they start doing something, we just want them to do everything. Or why don't somebody come do something about this? No, you do something about it. But do not trust those people of color coming to you tomorrow. And they're after all of us. We're all one. No, we're not. We're not. Because here's the talk they was talking before. You know why a lot of them, the immigrants voted for Trump? The Haitians, maybe it was the Haitians, the Jamaicans, and the and some of the Africans said that we thought that when they said that they was going to deport thugs and criminals, that they thought they were talking about us, Black Americans, not knowing we're not immigrants. We was here before the foundation of this nation. You immigrate to a nation. This wasn't a nation when we came here. And we helped build it just like the white man did. So what gave him claim on it and not us? And then those people, those Africans and Jamaicans had the nerve to say, we don't have a country. We do. It's called the United States of America. No, they don't tell white people that. They was at the foundation of the nation, just as we were. So how is it anymore their country and not ours? And this is our land also. Matter of fact, I think I told you the other time when the slaves came over. See, they make you think they were people running around butt naked in the jungle, bones in the nose and all that. But do you know a lot of them were scientists, engineers, doctors? And I read where they had to help show the white man how to raise agriculture right. Made medicine. Came and showed them how to smelt certain iron. Certain iron they didn't know about. They didn't know how to plant rice. They had to show them how to plant rice. See, many people think, I help you out, you help me out. They didn't know what diabolical person they was dealing with, though. And see what happened is Yeah, they weren't the dumb people that they try to make them out to be. They they picked a few, worked the farms, did building for them. Because before they were just living in log houses, wood houses. The slaves would show them how to make houses out of iron and mortar. That's why the slaves built the White House. You see, every built the infrastructure down south, and the slaves up north built it up there. Because I tell you why. See, if you notice, like I said about the agriculture, the picking the crops, after black people was out of slavery wouldn't do it and they would stop doing it, who did they do? What they do? Go get the immigrants. How come the white man don't do it? Too lazy. When it came to building the railroad, they went and got the Chinese to do that. When have they ever done some hard work? The only time they start doing agriculture and building is when machines was made to assist. Any job you see that don't have a machine assistant, you don't see very many white people working it. If there's some type of tool to assist. I remember when the white people first got into construction, they used to have this V-shaped thing that you had to carry the bricks on your shoulders. They were getting the black men to do that. White men couldn't do it. But they feed you these false things like as though black people just are lazy. Lazy people don't have a $2.3 $2.3 trillion $2.3 trillion spending economy. Black people, lazy black people wouldn't have that. And that's from work money too. And I didn't say that's all. I said that's just spending power. That is not all we got. So we richer than a lot of nations. We just don't spend our money right. We spend it with others and they take it out of our community. If we spent our money right, we'd be some powerful people to deal with. But it's hard to get people to tell them the way it is on by design. I can't blame the people. Because these Asian women, see, now that all of them are having problems now, a lot of them coming out telling the truth. They're telling the truth. This Asian woman said, many times when the Asians go get a business loan, more than likely this happened with the Arabs and all of them. Or Arab, as y'all say, but it's Arab. But she said when they go get the loan, the people tell them they can get the loan, but they have to open the business loan. You have to open the business in a black neighborhood. That's to price us out. And she said, but at the same time, the black people can't get the loan. So don't ever think we're less than. There's a whole system that has worked against us from the beginning. Didn't want to see us prosper. They done everything they could against us. When we reap the harvest and get prosperous, they came and burned it down. Then to my you're all so lazy, living in poverty. Well, what else could we do? Remember the property that they took from the people in New York? They gave it back to them with some prime real estate. And everybody applauded that. Because they took it from their ancestors and gave it to the white people's ancestors. So like they took a lot of farmland. A lot of those farmland those white farmers owned used to be black people's land. They took it and gave it to white people. Well, they took this was in New York. It was prime real estate. They took it and gave it to this white family. Then here, back later, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, they gave it back to the black people. Everybody thought that was something spectacular. It was good they got the land back. But what about the generational wealth they lost? What about the generational wealth that the white people incurred in that period? Their ancestors incurred generational wealth off of somebody else's land. That means that wealth needs to come to those black people. At least some of it. You made all this money off my land through death of your ancestors, and you don't give it back. And I'm supposed to say thank you. Should have been what the F was you doing with it in the first place. See, we got to stop playing with people. We too nice. I saw this woman the other day. There was this black boy. An Asian man hit him with his car, and she had him on the ground trying to, help keep his skull together. He survived and was okay. But the Asian woman whose husband hit him, I don't know what happened to him though. To my you black bees get up front of my store. Why they helping the boy? You know what? Why is them people still in business? Do you think a black man, a black person could have done that? Still be in business? Just as when the Chinese man hit the black woman in the mouth. All the brothers, they put together boycott, was boycotting the store. So he put everything half price, 50% off on everything. So those old black women was flocking in there. Their hair, nails, makeup and all is more important than their own sister. And the thing that gets me is this. I don't think it should have been a boycott. If that was a black man who hit that woman in the mouth, what do you think would happen? Her father, men, whatever men folk in her family, and some others would have went there, rolled that man out, and tore his stuff up. Why come you didn't do that to the Asians? You're scared. We scared of everybody but each other. Scared to do something to them. You won't put hands on them like you do other black people. And I bet they're still in business too. They have no business being in business. And then the reason that boycott don't work, black people usually don't boycott for maybe 3 days at the most. People just say, well, I just wait these 3 days out. Show you how a real boycott look. During 9/11, people didn't really know what was going on. There was a Hug store. Where I live, I know somebody from around the country or nation. But got a Hug store up there in Beverly Heights on Lincoln Trail. Service station. As soon as they found out what happened, they hiked their gas up to $20 a gallon. They were on the news and they were white people boycotting them. This was in 2021. Since then, every business has been sat vacant for about 5 years. Nice building, but everyone who tried to open a business has failed. They cannot get anywhere in that spot. So they don't play like we do. We go 3 days, and then people who was on the picket line will be back in the store in 3 days. You was on the picket line boycotting them. Now you're in there buying something. When the boycott is over, now that's time to boycott, and it's a time just to mess somebody up. And the time when it comes to black people, it's always trying to mess each other up. But when it comes to these other people, we get so strategic all of a sudden. Treat them like you treat yours, unless you think they're better. These people of color, see, I tell you, they show more personal hatred than white people do, because white people hatred is more on a systematic level now. They'll treat you really nice in your face, because they control the system that can hold you back. So they don't have to call your names. Like they asked the Proud Boys and the Klan and all them, they're not marching anymore. They said, we don't have to march. We're in the government now. Who do you think those people are under those masks? Supposed to be policemen running around in jeans and tennis shoes and a mask on. They're going to run to the wrong people. And if they keep messing with these white folks, let me tell you something. White them white folks will tear this country up. They keep messing with them. They're a completely different creature from us. They did it, tore Washington up back in the 1800s over some jobs. They're mistreating white people now. And they're really not doing much discriminating. When we was out there, you see the difference though. They dragging white women on the ground, beating them, kicking them. I never thought I'd see that. But you know me, you better not get out there. We better not go out there and do that to white women and white men. And it's like ICE don't care what color you are, what your nationality is. But the thing about the difference is, and then taking our rights away, white people not gonna stand for that. And when they feel like they've been wrong, they ready to go bring it to you. So they better realize they're not dealing with just us. They thought it was gonna be us because they thought, do you know how many people actually thought black people don't work, even though they work around black people every day? This MAGA stuff is just illogical. Logical people become illogical once they get into MAGA because they thought that if they stop affirmative action, black people gonna lose all their jobs. Black people didn't get that much out of it. But black women got some because they were double minority, female and black. So they got some jobs and you see they lost them too. Because black women made up 22% of the government workforce. And they let just about all of them go. But see what with the they thought we weren't gonna have jobs. And we're gonna go out there and pick their crops. They actually thought that. They're so delusional. They think they have it all figured out. They can't figure us out right now. You know, the reason they're sending troops in to these cities, usually city in a blue state with a black mayor. He's talking about sending it to Memphis and St. Louis, but they're red states with white mayors. And Memphis is, I think, right after St. Louis when it comes to crime. But the reason he's doing it, see, they're trying to flush us out. We're their main target. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're in a pretty good position right now. They always favor them above us. Since they can't get to us, they go to them. Because you see, white people have to have them a boogeyman, somebody to look down on. But look, what they did was they had all these protests. They couldn't find any black people out there. A few sprinkled here and there. And they say, since the black people not coming to us, we better go to them. That's why they want to come all up in your neighborhoods now. That's why all you got to do is stay in. Just do what you got to do, because they won't be there for about 30 days or so. Do what you got to do. Don't be going out making scenes with gangs in Chicago to let them come on. Let the Marines come on. We got something for them. No, you don't. They got something for you. They got an endless supply of ammo. What you got, 3 bullets? Because you done shot the rest of them up in the air. Can't even hold your gun. Hold your gun sideways. That's why you got to empty the clip just to hit somebody 10 feet away. Because you don't even know how to hold your gun right. And you talking about taking on the U.S. National Guards and Marines. See, you are the problem. You are the reason they talking about bringing them in, committing all those crimes. And talking about what you gonna do. Make it use you later when something really go down. By then, you've been fired off the last few bullets you got. I know a lot of you guys like that. You don't have that many bullets. Be on that flexing with your uncle's gun, your dad's gun. Stay out of that mess. And what's all black folks need to do right now, stay out of all this mess. Don't get involved in it. Because these people of color not worth it. I lived around people of color in Los Angeles for a long time. I lived out in LA. Man, they hated us. The immigrants from Europe treat you better than the people of color immigrants and also the Africans. They couldn't stand us either. Wouldn't have anything to do with us when they come over here. What do we say? Come back home to Mother Africa. What are we supposed to do? Get over there and get mistreated? At least over here we know where to run. We wouldn't know where to run over there. We may go over there and have more skilled than the average African, And they get jealous and get mad because they call it, I know in Ghana they call black Americans foreigners. The foreigners are taking all the jobs. They're taking all the good jobs. Then what you gonna do then? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, it can happen. I think about going there myself. Anyone who feel like it should. I had strongly considered it. I have some friends moved over there. One in Gambia, he loves it. One in Ethiopia, he loves it. Because if you can go over there and still getting your American pension, you live like a king. Stuff is cheap over there compared to here. Even if you retired and on Social Security, you still live like a king over there. Because the money goes a long way over there. Things are not as expensive as it is here. And people find out. I see a lot of white people talking about how they've been duped. This is not the number one nation in the world. Have you been to other countries? Go to their cities. Their cities are high tech looking. Ours look dusty. Same old skyline as last 50 years. You know why? See, during World War II, a lot of their infrastructure in Europe and Africa, because about Africa being colony, they drew them into the war, which they should have had nothing to do with. It was in Northern Africa. And see, most of these other people, their cities are new. The United States was untouched during World War II because of the Pacific Ocean, except for Pearl Harbor. That's the only thing that saved Britain from being overrun by the Germans, the English Channel. The United States saw where bodies of water can't protect you. That's why they started NATO. They want to keep fighting over there, so it won't come to these shores. Yeah, but see, they are, but they have modern cities. Accra and Ghana, and you just go all over Africa. South Africa, they got nice, beautiful skyline. We still got these same old dusty buildings. Because you know why? The United States, instead of rebuilding its infrastructure, he spent his money on wars, building up a military complex. Instead of rebuilding the infrastructure and modernizing this nation. Do you know in other nations they don't have overhead wires like we got? That from the earth when they first got electricity. Those poles that hang with wire hanging on it been out there since electric was invented. I think it was around the late 1800s. You got them poles still doing it by poles. In these other cities, their wiring is underground. The electric don't go out there over every little storm. And people go who travel, they see those other nice places. Down in Brazil, Central America, they got nice cities. But they had you thinking only the United States had nice cities. All the Africans running around in the bush with a bone in their nose. Africans got modern cities. Very modern cities. Dusty, when you see the pictures of people living out there in those huts, those are people because of their ethnicity and certain religion. That's the way they want to live. They said many of the governments have been trying to get them to come and live a more modern life, but that's the way they want to live. But they'll come in and take pictures of those people, show them to the world. Remember how they used to have little kids with the bloated belly and the flying on them? They said, well, there ain't no men around to take up. You know why that happened? That was doing when they was having civil wars. Those were refugee camps. It's usually the man had been killed in war. But they made it seem like as though it was just normal life. Saying you send some money. Who know where that money went? But Africa's waking up. They ran the colonial powers out. They're finding their own gold, doing their own agriculture now. And France and Britain they're hurting now. They're no longer getting those free minerals from Africa. They come in and put in a puppet president, make him a million, sometimes even billionaire. And he just let them exploit the land. Yeah, but black people, we don't have anything, like I said, we have nothing to be ashamed of. We've overcome a lot. Only thing I see what we may be ashamed of, our personal behavior. As a people, we're the best people there is. Our personal behavior stinks. Loud, aggressive, belligerent. And that's right there, just the women. They doing more fighting than men now. But all of us, we walk into a place, talking to somebody, talking at the top of our lungs. Do you see these other people walking and talking to each other? You can't hear their conversation. But we want everybody to hear what we got to say. I see people on their phone. You can hear them within a half block radius and they're talking on the phone with someone. Our personal behavior is terrible. We love to keep up chaos and trouble with people on purpose. Putting up these fight videos all over social media, and a lot of them not even real. I often said, I never saw if all that fighting's going on, why come I never seen one in person? Well, I did about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago down on 25th and State. They had this girl down, all 4 of them jumping on them. But you know what I found out later? It was staged. They did that to put on social media. They staged a lot of those fights, put on social media. Have you noticed? In a lot of those fights, when have you seen somebody's face swell up? This guy just got hit in the face 20 times. You don't see no swelling, no blood, none of that. Somebody hit you in the face one time. You can be a kid, you're going to have some swelling. So, and we ruin our ethnic image when we do that. Believe me, our ethnic image don't need no help for you to ruin it because it's not looking too good now. And y'all keep posting all that foolishness. And know half the time it's fake. They even make some of it up over in other countries. And you notice how those white folks flock to it just to talk about our race? But you see, there are people doing the same thing, but they talk about the issue when it comes to them. But our race when it comes to us. And we were so pitiful as a race, inferior. Why do you treat us like we're superior? Look at this action. Most people look at, and a lot of the black conservatives does this, they look at maybe some shortcomings black people have, and they blow it up. See, if we're not doing perfect, we deserve everything we get, but no one else has to be perfect. So if we're inferior, why are we expected to be perfect? Do everything the perfect way. We got to cross every T, dot every I. There's people like Candace Owens and Lee Elder and all them. They come and harp on black misbehavior, or what black people coming short of at. All people does. They harp on that and take it to the white people and become millionaires. You mean to tell me a black woman, a black man can stand up with white people talking about black people? There's nothing good you can say about your own people? There's nothing you can say good? Just everything is bad. We don't know how to do this. Don't know how to do that. But they scratch the surface on things, but they don't get into the meat of the matter. See, a real person who know how to debate will clean their clocks. So the same way with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. I didn't know who he was until he died. Cause we don't be all off up in their business like that, like they're in ours. But the stuff he said was foolish, and some of it already been debunked. And I could have debunked the best, but he's not gonna talk to me. Somebody like me or Roland Martin, he gonna go talk to some college student who trying to debate with this black female college student. She didn't know nothing, or they debate with these black people who still on that we shall overcome. So we all got to get along and peace and harmony and love. The hell with that. We're not getting along with them folks. We've had 400 years of trying. We turned the other cheek. They kicked us in. They hit us in that one and kicked us in the other two. Now it's no reconciliation. It's not going to be equality. I tell you why. You can take two opposites and think they're going to be equal. People don't even treat all their children the same. They love them all. There's one that they're going to favor more than the others. I know people don't want to hear that, but you know it's the truth. That's why that's the parent's pet. That's what they used to call them, their pet. That was the favorite child. But think about it. We spend so much time worrying about wanting somebody to accept us instead of building our economy like other people did. Asians didn't care what you thought about them as long as they can make that money. They didn't care what name you called them. No, as long as you leave that money on your way out the door. But we more. And Martin Luther King, he changed his strategy. He got more radical just before he died. And look, but that's the kind of people they debate and they clean their clock because they're trying to be peaceful and talk all nice. Why Candace Owens and the people like Lee Elder and all them mopping the floor with them? They don't want no reconciliation. They don't want to come together. If we was going to come together, we'd have done it in about 400 years. Now, I'm not willing to waste anymore. You know, anybody else want to, you got that protest. Do all the old things we used to do, but I'm not going to do it. But then again, I never did protest like I always tell you. I know the reason I didn't want to mess up those people protest. What's happening because I don't believe in peaceful protest. I got to get you back. Then we can sit down and talk. You say, oh man, that's petty. Yeah, I'm petty like that. And many of you need to get that way too. I've seen things where they did stuff to us. All they had to do was apologize. Now you're gonna have to get you a few lumps, and then we can both apologize to each other. But if you hit me first, I'm not apologizing for retaliating. But I wouldn't apologize anyway. I'd rather do anything I didn't mean to do. I'm not. I don't have. I'm a very unemotional person, and I don't do things out of emotion. If I did something to somebody because I wanted to do it, so what's the point in apologize? I'd be lying. I meant to do it. And some people tell me, they say, you don't want to apologize. What for? I'm not sorry. Yeah, but that's just to make things better. Well, if truth don't make you better, I don't know what will. And I don't like that. A lot of you men need to get this in your head too. They sit there and tell me what I ought to do. When I done told, I'm a grown man and told them what I want to do, they gonna still try to stand there and tell me what to do. You need to stop letting these women do this to you. You tell them you're gonna do something, you're not gonna do it. She gonna tell you what you ought to do. Right? You ought to shut up and mind your own business and not do what I want to do. What I ought to do is what I did. You ought to knuckle down to these women that run you. And we haven't won nothing since they've been in control of things. They don't even recognize us anymore. All they talk about is black women. You need to take back control. Brother, you got to. No one has ever won and became out victorious with their women leading. It's unnatural. It's not going to happen. What have we won since they've been in control? They messed up the democratic machine we had. They messed up Kamala Harris' campaign with all that sister girl stuff, acting like as though she's running for president of the Delta sorority or something. See, when you're running in a national election, you don't bring up race and gender. That's the last thing you want to do. See, Obama wouldn't do it, but all throughout her campaign, Kamala Harris' campaign, those black women making a big deal about her race. You know, in commercials. They ruining this for her. That's the reason I told people Stacey Abrams wasn't going to win. I wanted her to win. I wanted Kamala to win. If I was in Georgia, I'd vote for Stacey. I'd vote for Kamala Harris. If she ran again, I'd vote for her again. But we're not going to have a female mayor. Not in the near future. Ladies, you may as well face that. This nation is not going to and probably won't ever have a female president. I said mayor, but I meant president. Not going to have a female president. See, I have to face reality sometimes. I know it don't sound good, don't like it. So I don't live by hopes and dreams. I weigh the facts and statistics. Look at history. You have to weigh things out in a logical manner. Whatever you can't do logically, then you can ask God for it. But He wants you to do what you got to do first. At least try to help yourself first. Take the woman with the, I don't mean to go off into the Bible, but take the woman with the issue of blood. What did it say she did? Went to the doctor for 12 long years. She just didn't stand there and didn't try to do nothing. She did all that she could do. But now we just want to sit back and tell them, I'm going to let God handle it. But maybe He's going to handle it through you and the people around you. Like you're going to just get a free ride. We too nice to people. We got to cut out. These people color hate us, but we think because white folks don't like them, that means they're our allies. They've never been. See, they were treated like honorary whites. Now they head on the grind mill on the chopping block. They won't act like they're our friends. Maybe yours, but they're not mine. And wherever they send them, they just send them. As long as they're not bothering black people, I don't care. Because whatever these people going through, they laughed at us when we was going through it. What are they doing to these people right now that they haven't done to us? Ripping the baby from the mother and separating them. They took babies from the black mothers and sold them. Man got a family, sold, the wife one place and the children somewhere else. Sometimes you did experiment on the women and children, medical experiments. So that's nothing new for us. Beating you in the streets. Does that sound familiar? But see, you helped when it was us, you people of color. You helped. You laughed at us when we was out there protesting. I mean, when they were out there protesting. It was funny when it was us. Even now, you are not letting up, calling the black cops the N-word and spitting on them. And still online on social media. I see your little Hispanic name talking about black people. So y'all get what you get. Leave us alone. Just don't let them alligators bite you. Black people won't help us. What we supposed to do? Brother, help ourselves. What we supposed to do to help you? We're going to help somebody, it's going to be ourselves. You wouldn't helping us. Matter of fact, I really don't care what happened to you. So don't expect no praying hands from me, no thoughts and prayers, because nobody cared about what happened to us. If you like us, we like you. But I can't speak for the rest of black folks because they seem to be the opposite. Most of them love their enemies. It's like this. If you hate my people, I hate your people. And well, black people hate each other. What they got to do with it? It can be two brothers can't stand each other. There's a difference in somebody from outside the family can't stand you, and somebody in the family can. You still got that bond. And what we do with each other is nobody's business anyway. What we call each other is nobody's business. You worry about your people, getting them crops out the ground, and learn some common decor around the world, going around here. But do you know the Caucasian race has killed more people in the last 200 years than all other races combined in the history of this planet? I'm going to talk about people killing. Like I said about our crime stats, they put people of color in our crime stats. Now I tell you, it's just arrests and not a actual crimes. They wouldn't pass their arrest record, just pick up some black folks, haul them into jail, let them go, don't even charge them. But it goes down in the crime statistics. You see, well, that's more black people in the prison population. Back during slavery and after slavery, right after slavery, when black people wasn't committing any crime because they was trying to survive. There was still more black people in prison. They went to prison for stuff like a white man hit them, they hit them back. They talk back to a white man, go to prison. Black people will always be more of us in prison. Okay. They say one of the reasons they do, see, most of these white folks on social media talk about black people, they don't even be around the black people. They're living out somewhere with no black people around. They don't have to start no white towns. Most white people already live in all white towns and cities. Black people live in 26 metropolitan areas in this nation. except for a few southern states. Black people live in large cities mainly, and maybe some cities around them. But look at this though. You know how you look on TV and these white people commit all these murders and all? You never heard of it, right? This is the way it goes. They got a wider area to commit stuff. They could be doing it more, but you don't see it because their area is wider. Let's say in the state of Illinois, 25 out in those outlying areas, 25 people get unalive. In the city of Chicago, let's say just over the weekend, in the city of Chicago, 5 get unalive. Which ones you gonna hear about? The ones in Chicago, because they're concentrated and they're around where the news networks are at. Around the cities, they ain't gonna have their truck right there reporting it. But in the boondocks, people don't know what's going on out there. But they committed even more. You don't even hear about it. Because we're concentrated, so you're going to hear about everything we do. And that's part of the problem. They kind of playing with this. I wouldn't say playing with the statistics, but they say cooking the books. That's what they do with these crime stats with black people. Making things look in a different way. See, some of them coming out telling it now. They get mad. Some of the disgruntled people. They're coming out and telling a lot of that stuff. Yeah, so, we can't, like I say, we can't let ourselves get mixed with other people. Let the people color. It's this place now, people don't even mention black people no more. They mention people of color, the homosexuals, the immigrants, women. Worst part about it, I heard when they were doing their rallies, that's what they would do. They would mention everyone but black people. Then I heard a black woman talking. She mentioned everybody but black men. She mentioned black women, people of color, women. They always got to bring the homosexuals in there. But the thing is, even the black woman left us out. We're like two different entities now, black men and black women. And black men didn't cause it. But look, you gotta be careful dealing with them people. They're trying to lump us in with them. Now got them included in our crime stats. Man, they done everything to us. Surprised we still here. They had put every dirty trick in the book. That's why they don't know what to do now. We took everything they had and still here. And their mind is like, what more can we do? They'll think of something. They're not done with us yet, but whatever they come up with, we'll get through it just like we always have. We built for this. We're not whining like the Mexicans and all these other people of color and immigrants. We're talking about come help us like they asking black people. In any of our marches, the Civil Rights March, even the ones here lately, the Black Lives Matter March, black people didn't ask anybody to come help us. They came on their own. You know something? When they took it over, how it got a little more violent. Some people that ran up in that police station in Minnesota, those weren't they were supposed to be Black Lives Matter people. Ran the police out and burned the station down. Those weren't black people. Because they wouldn't allow black people to do that. Been dead black bodies all over the steps of that police department. Yeah, so they are so we left all that stuff alone, all that protesting and if the others want to do it, let them do it. If you want to do it, go ahead. Gotta do what you think is best for you. I recommend against it though, because you're gonna be the first one in jail. I tell you what, I did a thing when they did a No Kings rally over in St. Louis, Missouri, like about a month ago. Maybe a little over a month, I'm not sure. But I did it live. I did it live. It was about 10,000 people. Biggest I ever saw in St. Louis. I saw maybe at the most 20 black people. Which is not bad. But the problem was they had one black woman put her in the lead with the flag. The black men got them on using the bullhorn to whip the people up. Now who the police gonna come out first? The people they see the most visible. Quit letting these people set you up. Quit being a part of their mess. Let them fight the police for a change. Get their head busted and getting maced, shot. Let them, I mean, I say that. Let them get pew because we can't be sacrificing ourselves for anyone. And we can't do it. So I'm not gonna do it. Like I say, anything I say, I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion is derived from facts. See, a lot of times people have opinions, but they don't have facts to back it up. Anything I said, you can look it up for yourself, just like I did. But we can't be around here helping other people because they didn't help us. They laughed at us. They didn't care anything about us. I'm not laughing at them, but I wouldn't go that far. Oh, before I sign off, Hakeem Jeffries voted to honor Charlie Kirk. He's supposed to be leading the Democrats in Congress. Hakeem is too weak. They say he's a good man, behind closed doors. He's a good orchestrator and all of running things. But right now, we need some warriors. Look, this is war. The Republican Party is at war with everybody. MAGA is at war. We don't need no statesmen. We need some savages right now. That's where the Republicans are coming. So they're talking about gerrymandering the district. Why come you haven't been doing it? You knew they've been doing that all the time. See, the Democrats are waiting for things to get public all on the news before they do anything. 1,000 press conferences and haven't got nothing done. To the place now, I don't even listen to the press conferences. Do something about it. Quit telling us, well, Trump did. We know Trump a bad man. We don't need you to keep telling us that. We know he's a liar and a creep, but we don't need you to keep telling us that. Find a way to get them. You should have been gerrymandering those districts. Wait, no, we're gonna see what if Texas go ahead. If nothing, start doing it now, because they can't out gerrymander the Democrats. California alone can make up 52 more seats. And the way things going, yeah, next presidential candidate may win in the red areas. When he get done with them, he gonna hurt them a lot worse than us. And count on it. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I don't think we're gonna have another election. Trump's not going nowhere. The only thing gonna move Trump, got to do like these other nations, have a military coup. Now I don't think they got everything here so structured. I don't think that'll happen here. You got too many people who still think they're gonna get the American dream. They're now showing where white people are living so poor. Large percentage of them. All down in Mississippi, Missouri. Then I guess them the towns they think black people want to come to. Come on, can't come here whites only. I wish you would. I wish more of you would do it. Even though most of you live in white only towns already. Black people not all over this country. We get certain areas where a white person want to go live up to themselves, they got a whole lot of space to do it. When the reason they announced that, they thought it's going to, they do that to bother black people. But don't realize we're not thinking about them. Got time to be fooling with them. We're about our business now. We're not about anyone else's business. So they take care of their business, and we'll take care of ours. But they don't seem to be able to get out of ours. They can't leave us alone. We fascinate them. Plus, they need somebody to look down on to be able to function. I'm gonna get ready to get off for tonight. But look, thanks for tuning in, and look, be careful how you move out here, and don't tell too many people anything. Yeah, but be careful how you move because we don't know all what's going on yet, and it'd be bad to see. It would be really bad to see something happen to any of our people. They don't have no business bothering any of us. So we know what to do if they do. See, cause them people gonna run up on the wrong people one day. Come on, run up on me with a mask, blue jeans and tennis shoes on, an unmarked van, and I'm not supposed to do nothing. I may go, but some going too. You know what I mean? But look, if you don't trust these people, they just upset because the heat is on for them. They losing money. The white black farmers still prospering because they didn't get all those government subsidies. Couldn't get the loans. So they had to buy things, pay cash for their stuff. Got crops that they don't need a lot of people to pick. Machine can do it. That's why the white man is as lazy as he is. Get the crops a machine can do. But see, I tell you why they didn't though. See, the United States was paying them subsidies, sometimes paying them not to farm. Because all that soybean was going to China. And many of them became millionaires off of that. But the black farmers was left out. Now during the COVID relief, and Biden, and this was Biden he wronged the black farmers too. The white farmers, they gave a relief package for the farmers. The black farmers didn't get it. The black farmers sued and won. The white farmers counter-sued, said they want some of that money. The money you had already gotten, the black people didn't get none of yours. They just canceled the whole thing. That don't make sense, do it? You win a lawsuit against me, and because somebody else filed a counter-suit, nobody gets nothing. So the black farmers are doing just fine. They may be able to buy them up some more farmland soon. I think a lot's about to become available, as if J.D. Vance and his group don't grab it up. Yeah, but look, so you think I feel sorry for those farmers? I look at the history of the things they've done to black farmers. A lot of that land they got was taken from black people. So I'm supposed to care about what happened to their farms? They're telling me about, people keep talking about, oh, that shouldn't have happened in Charlie Kirk. And he said lives is worth it for lives, but some lives gonna have to be lost to support the Second Amendment. He just wasn't planning on him being one of those sacrifices. He was sacrificed. So I'm praying for his family, and you don't want me to pray for you because you wouldn't like what I pray. But look, I'm not thinking about him or his family. His wife said she gonna keep it going and do more than he did. In no way you can say that stuff about Jews and get away with it. You can't hardly say hi to a Jew without the yell anti-Semitic. Belonging to black people mostly. White folks say whatever they want to say about Jews. Don't get upset when black people say something. I do. Charlie Kirk was an enemy of black people. Him and his group like a terrorist group to us because he's pure and stuff that make people do stuff. I do not feel sorry at the downfall of my enemy, no matter how they're taken out. I rejoice at the downfall of my enemy, regardless of how it happens. If you don't like that, it's just too bad. Anybody hate black people? So I'm talking about as a people. I'm not talking about individually. But any of these people hate black folks, we don't care anymore. We're not even listening to you anymore. You're irrelevant to us now because your empire is on a decline anyway. That's why they kicked you out of Africa. The French kicked them out. And this country is in such shambles. It's going to take 100 years to get this country back up. But each nation ruled for just so long. If you notice, and it's just time, for the United States to give it up. It's not going to be that superpower. It may be a superpower, but it's not going to be that superpower that it used to be. And I don't care. Maybe the people will get to live better. Richest nation on earth, and so many of these people in poverty, because most of the money going to a few. See, the system of capitalism is nothing but a governmental pyramid scheme. Let it trickle down, put it at the top. Those at the top, in the pyramid scheme, they make all the money. They let the money trickle down, and then you at the bottom, you're not going to ever get anything. It's just a big Ponzi scheme. That's how the capitalist system is. See, in the capitalist system, you have to have, in order to have the rich, somebody got to be poor. The more the rich increase, the more people goes into poverty. If you take have a piece of cake here, and you slice out 99% with just a handful of million and billionaires, the rest of us got the rest, the crumbs. Of course, somebody's not going to get anything. You get some who get some crumbs and think that makes them special, and they side with the rich folks and vote Republican against their own issue, against their own interests. So everything had been a big game, and now white people begin to see how the wool has been pulled over their eyes. Let the wool pull over their eyes for a long time. And most still do. I know when they come to realize something, they're not going to be peaceful. Remember when the man and woman pulled a gun on the people? When they had all over the news? I was a few minutes from filming that, but I left because they were talking about going to the mayor's house to protest. And I don't believe in doing that. If I'm going to protest the mayor, I'll go to City Hall. I wouldn't protest them to me if that's what you're going to do. Don't take it to the people's private home. You're including the family and everybody in that. Take it to City Hall. That's where she work. Make decisions at. And this situation had nothing to do with her anyway. That was Lonnie Crewson was mayor. And what happened with the man and woman with the gun, you know what they said? To show you what I'm talking about, how black people really wasn't marching anymore. They said, well, it wasn't about race because they were white people who I pulled it on. Remember that? I saw a video where the white people stopped. Black people would have kept marching, don't pay any attention. They could be strapped too. The black people could be strapped. As long as you just flexing, they let you flex. And the black people that come back and get the white people, tell them to come on, don't be worried about them. Black people know how to do this. We've been doing it too long. We know when people trying to provoke us. There's nothing they can do to us that they haven't already done. Well, they probably might ship some, stop your birthright and try to send, get some of you out of here. They already done that. That's how Liberia was started. Lincoln was sending freed slaves over to Africa. So that's how the nation of Liberia was started, by freed African slaves. But then Lincoln got shot. But Lincoln had started deporting black people to Africa. So a lot of people don't know that, but you got to really look into this stuff. If it's interests you, I know everything don't interest everyone. But I look into things because I have to know what I'm talking about. That's why most of the things I tell you, if I'm going to give my personal opinion or something, I'll let you know it's my personal opinion. If I come to you from facts, then nobody going to argue with facts with me. Because that's just a usually silly argument. To argue facts with your feelings. Well, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. I think I'm going to have to go and wrap it up. But look, remember this. You black Americans, you're not no people of color. They do that, put you in that minority status to diminish you and put you in the right with everybody else. We've had an experience here like none other. And we don't need to let no one else get in on it in case we're going to reap something. Not no Jamaicans and all of them. See, when they come up here and commit crime, it goes on our crime stat. Don't say he was Jamaican. They say black. Even the black Mexicans, black. Those Indians, those dark-skinned Indians, black. So we can infer rap even on that. Well, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for tuning in to No More Water Fire next time. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm also broadcasting on City of Champions Television on YouTube simultaneously. I do both simultaneously. So go to the YouTube page and like and share. Okay? But I think that's going to be a wrap for me for tonight. So, thank you for tuning in to No More Water. Bye. Next time. Good night.